Hi, welcome to my channel Made by Kate. I'm Kate. In this video I am sewing two midi skirts. One is half circle skirt and the other one is bias cut midi skirt. Both of these projects are from my winter sewing plans video and it's been a very long time since we've seen each other, but life happened and it's already April. So I actually sewed these two projects back in February, and between back then and now I've got a surgery done on my eyes. Now I have Evo ICL implants in my eyes and I no longer need prescription glasses. So if you've been wondering why I'm looking rather weird, it's because of that. And also back in February, obviously I still needed them, so in these clips I will have my glasses still on. Yeah, I'm very happy to be back, and let's get on with the video now. If you saw my last video where I presented to you my winter sewing plans, I'm going to be making first two projects of that video, and that's half circle midi skirt and a midi bias cut skirt. And if I look too glammed up for just sewing project, yes I am, I know, but I was feeling a little bit down and I thought putting on some nice dress and matching earrings would help better my mood, and in fact it is working, so I'm glad. So here are my fabrics for this project. This one, which I'm going to be using for the half circle midi skirt, I guess it's a flannel material and it's mostly polyester in these nice pink, beige and gray shades. So yeah, this is my first fabric, and the fabric for the bias cut midi skirt is this purple satin fabric. I don't know what this one is made of. I guess it's polyester. I bought it secondhand on Vinted and it was a great deal, and I didn't have to buy a new fabric, so that's a plus. I can choose which project I want to start with, so I'm deciding right now. It's 7:30 in the evening. I was hoping to start a bit sooner, but bad mood is bad mood. Okay, I'm going to start with the satin bias cut skirt because I have a pattern prepared for it and I don't have to think about it too much. I can just follow the instructions. It's 30 minutes later and I cut out my fabric. Is there anything more frustrating than cutting satin fabrics? I don't think I've come across anything else. But it's done and I can start sewing. So there are just two pattern pieces, the front and the back of the skirt, and now I'm just going to sew them together on the sides and sew it and also serge it. And then I'm going to attach the elastic to the waist and I'm going to hem it. I mean, the instructions are simple, so we'll see how long it's going to take me. Yeah, I'm going to sew. Okay, so there's a change of plans. I just realized that I have a beige thread in my serger and I don't want to change it to black just to go back to beige when I'll be sewing the circle skirt. So I just measured myself, calculated everything I needed to calculate, and now I'm going to cut my other fabric and I'm going to start with this project just because of the thread in the serger. That's my bad. I should have thought about that before, but I mean, for you just don't care. Okay, so let's go and cut out the fabric. I don't have space big enough for cutting the pattern except from the floor, so that's where I spread my fabric. Also, I folded it in half, so the whole process is a lot easier. Then I measured and marked the radius I calculated from my waist measurement. For me, it was 20 centimeters. The formula is easy. For a half circle skirt, you take the desired waist measurement, including 2 times seam allowance, and divide it by pi. After that, I needed to mark the hem of the skirt pattern, so I took the length I measured and repeated the process of marking the longer radius. Don't forget that the length is from your waist and you're measuring from the corner of your folded fabric, so you need to add the radius of your waist to the hem radius, which in my case was 20 centimeters plus the previous 20 centimeters. Last step, I needed to add seam allowances to both of my pattern lines. 1 centimeter to the waist, and I kind of panicked, so I added 5 centimeters to the bottom because I feared the skirt would be too long. Spoiler alert, I didn't need to do that. And as you can see, I was measuring the seam allowances right as I was cutting the fabric. The second and last pattern piece is a rectangle for a waistband. The width is your waist measurement plus 2 times seam allowance, and the height is your desired waistband height times 2 plus seam allowance also times 2, because you'll be folding it in half. For me, the final height was 10 centimeters. Now here is my cut fabric. This is the waistband and this is the half circle skirt, and I can start assembling it, or better say, I can figure out how to assemble it. I guess I will start by... I need to interface my waistband piece, and then I will sew it to the body of the skirt. I took the waistband and I ironed on the interfacing, and also I ironed it so it's in half. And now I'm going to serge the sides of the interfacing and the skirt, and then I'm going to sew together the skirt with the waistband and serge that seam, and I'm going to be back after that. I did not buy a zipper for this project, and these are just some of the ones I already own. I don't know, I think the white one will be better. I hope so. This one is too dark, this one is too light, but I don't think I will mind if it's going to be white. There is very little white in here, so I guess it matches. As I told you before, I serged the sides of the skirt and I attached the waistband, so yeah, this is how it's looking. I tried to match the pattern in the front, and I think I did a fairly good job. So yeah, I'm going to install the zipper now. Okay, so here is how I attach the zipper. First I sew the... well, not side seam. First I sew the back seam of the skirt and iron the seam open. Then I put my zipper on the seam, on the center of the seam. I pinned it and sewed along the zipper, horizontal on the other side and back up. And also I started just a smidge under the fold of the waistband. Now I'm going to turn it over. So here I have the seam from the outside of the skirt. Now I'm going to seam rib the original seam, and I will have my zipper installed. Also, I don't usually insert the invisible zipper this way, but I was afraid that if I sewed it the classic way I insert the invisible zipper with this thicker fabric, I wouldn't be able to use the zipper properly and it would give me a hard time. So that's why I did it this way. So yeah, I'm going to seam rib the seam now. As you can see, the zipper works and I can focus on finishing the waistband now. So here I pinned my waistline. At the zip, I just folded in the seam allowance and the end of the zipper inside, and then I just folded it in half around the whole perimeter of the waist of the skirt. And also one thing, as you can see, I'm leaving the serged edge visible from the inside, of course. I could fold it in once and sew it that way, but I don't feel like it now, and it's going to be on the inside, so I don't think it's that bad. And also the seam allowance of the seam that connects the skirt to the waistband, I folded it upwards so it will be hidden. And now I'm going to stitch in the ditch of this waistband seam so the stitch is not visible. And for those who don't know what stitch in the ditch means, I will pull away these two pieces of fabric and I will be sewing really slowly, and I will just stick to the line that these two pieces connect in. So the waistband is closed, as you can see. I mean, this side of the zipper is a bit better than this side, but I still don't care. And also I didn't mention, but at the zipper part I was just sewing in the line of the previous seam, so there is no newer seam. And here is, I mean, I don't think you can tell that I stitched in this ditch. If I pull it up apart, then I can see it, but when it's laying flat on its own, I do not see it. Okay, so now I'm going to try it on, and the final step is to hem the skirt. I just finished serging the raw hem of the skirt, and I made one line of a gathering stitch. And the gathering stitch is just the straight stitch with increased length of it, and I increased it to 4 millimeters. It will help me to finish the hem of the skirt, but all of that I will finish tomorrow because it's already 10:30 in the evening or at night, I guess. And I'm tired, so I'm going to go out with Lady and I'm going to sleep, and I'll see you in the morning. So it's the next day. I wish I could say that it is morning, but unfortunately it's 1:45 already. I had a little bit of a late morning today. I woke up at 10 a.m. had breakfast at 11 a.m. I made these lovely pancakes. I do every weekend. I mean, one day of the weekend. And today was the day. I'm going to continue finishing the half circle skirt. Behind the camera, I sewed in my tag. I had to hand stitch it because I forgot to insert it while the waistband was open. So that's that. And yeah, as I told you before I went to bed, I serged the hem of the skirt and made one gathering stitch. And now I'm going to measure the length of the skirt I would like it to be, and then I'm going to fold it, I guess, twice, and I'm going to iron it with the help of the gathering stitch, and then I'm going to sew it closed, but I will show you before I will sew it. It took me around 30 minutes, but the hem is prepared. I was doing this technique with the gathering stitch for the first time, and I'm not sure if I did it 100% right, but it helped, and I didn't need to gather the seam too much. It was just the slight gathering, which thankfully, because gathering such a thick fabric isn't as easy. Okay, so I folded it once around 1 centimeter, and then I folded it the second time for the remaining 4.5 centimeters. I am going to stitch this now. I'm going to lengthen my straight stitch to 3.5 millimeters for this stitch. And I will be stitching 4 centimeters from the edge. So the hemline is finished. It is a little bit wide, but honestly I like when trousers and skirts have this wider hem, so that's a plus for me. And yeah, I can't wait till I show you how the skirt is looking. I will try, from now on, for all of my projects, I will try to make at least 2 or 3 outfits just to get better generally at making my outfits. So yeah, I will film that later, and now I can go back to sewing my bias cut satin midi skirt. So I will change my serger threads to black, and I will see you then. So in the instructions, Kiana tells you to sew the side seams together and then overlock it. But I was trying my overlocking stitches and I wasn't liking them. So instead I decided to make a French seam. So I stitched the bed sides together. I trimmed a little this hem And then on the other side I have it done. As you can see, this is the other side from the outside, the finished one. And from the inside, then I proceeded to turn it inside out, and again I stitched the side with good sides facing each other. So this is how the seam is looking from the inside, and I still need to finish the other side. And the seam allowance in this pattern was 1/2 inch, so I divided it by 2, and both times I was sewing I was using 1/4 inch seam allowance. So I will finish the other side, and then I will proceed with the waist. I will need to sew in the elastic, and then I can move to the hem of the skirt. It's really easy and quick, but the fabric makes it really difficult and very painfully slow. So yeah, you gotta be careful with the satin fabric. And I am using a walking foot because it was just, the seams were just looking better with the walking foot, and unfortunately I did not have a needle for the satin fabrics, which if I'm not wrong, it is called Microtex needle, and I thought I had one, but I did not. So I just used one of the smaller universal ones. So yeah, it's not the best, but it's doing its job, and I think it will look okay. So I'm going to finish the side. I finished the other side seam, and I inserted the elastic to the waist. Serging the fabric with the elastic was much easier, so I did that. And now I'm going to flip the elastic inside, and I'm going to attach it to the side seams. And after that, it is time to finish the hem of the skirt. So yeah, I will do that, and the skirt will be finished. Finally, it's time for a reveal. Just to be clear, I'm not that good at making outfits, so don't get your hopes up. I tried to make 3 different outfits for both skirts. Starting with the plaid half circle skirt. In the first outfit, I paired it with my dark gray long sleeve top and black over the knee boots. Honestly, I like this outfit much more in person. I feel like the colors do not match as much on camera. The second outfit is just different color variation of the first one, and at the same time it is the opposite of the one before. I didn't like it as much in person, but seeing it on camera, the beige colors match so well that now I actually prefer it to the previous one. Third outfit, I tried to style the skirt for more spring-like weather. Therefore, the short sleeve top with a bit of frills at the sleeves and open toe ankle boots or sandals. I actually don't know what to call them. If you know, you can let me know in the comment. Now we're at the satin bias cut skirt outfits. First one, again, my black over the knee boots and sparkly sweater. I don't have much to say about it, I just like it. The second one is a bit out there with the bold colors. I love the blue and purple combo. I also love the red paired with them, but I'm not sure with the actual heels. They are not very comfy, but at this time that I'm filming, I don't have any flat shoes that would go with the skirt that are not sandals. And most of the times I don't wear sandals in spring because it's not that warm yet. Next, I love the look of satin skirt with the panties, so I obviously had to give it a go. I love it with my black blink tee and the boots that I bought over a year ago for a Sum 41 concert in Prague, and that I love ever since. I was referring to the shoes. Sum 41 I've been loving since I was about 5 years old maybe. And one bonus outfit I made just for fun, but I actually really like it. Another band tee. Hopefully YouTube won't dislike me for what is written on it. Anyway, I put on my fake Converse that I drew a mops and a Frenchie on years ago. I feel like my younger self in this outfit and I can only recommend that. Also, shout out for a lady for acting in this part of the video. Most of the time you can hear her snore in the background, so at least you could also see her now. And that's it for my outfits. And we're back in this room, and that means that it's the end of the video. I really like how my skirts turned out. I'm really proud of myself that I managed to sew a skirt without the sewing pattern. I mean, it's not the most difficult pattern to ever exist, but it's a first step for me, and yeah, I'm very excited about it. I really love the half circle skirt. I'm sure I will sew more of them in the future. About the bias cut satin skirt, the pattern is really easy. There are not many steps to follow, but my fabric was the worst fabric I've ever worked with. I mean, I'm sure that maybe if I had the right needle it would be better, or something else. I did my best. There are some pack rings on the side of the skirt. I mean, on one of the side seams. Maybe in the future I will fix it, but for now I'm just done with the skirt. And also what I don't like about the skirt, mostly about the fabric, is the fact that it's all the time it's fully charged with static energy or static electricity, or however you call it, and it sticks to my legs. And I mean, yeah, I will have to figure out what I need to do with that, but I'm fairly certain I can wear it with pantyhose. So I've watched some videos on what to do when this happens with your skirt, and there were some tricks and I will definitely try them out. I tried one with the moisturizing my legs, which worked, but not with, obviously not with the pantyhose. So yeah, the other method is using a hairspray, but I did not have that when I was wearing the skirt, so I didn't try it out. Okay, I'm mumbling too much. I'm very happy to be back posting videos. I can't wait to sew more and show you what I'm sewing. And if you've liked this video, please give it a like. If you'd like to see more of me in the future, you can subscribe and turn the notification bell on. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye.